here. See what we can put into the training that will benefit everybody in the group. It's a matter of right now. I have noticed that we do have some really solid new people coming into the group. Uh, there was one just recently that has a beautiful aerial video company using drones and so forth. And if you check the site, you'll see a video that I posted from his company that shows it going down one of the rivers in Colorado with some beautiful music behind it. And you can tell that he really he's passionate about that. And I'm sure that with a little direction, he can get even more business if he jumps into the Chamber of Commerce, which he and I had a chance to chat about that. And of course, today, what we're talking about is video and how it does affect your chances of being noticed in the Chamber of Commerce. Uh, it always amazes me. I'm going to go ahead and start the screen share here. If I can get something up here, we'll find out real fast. All right. Share, my man. Share. Let's go. There you go. Get something going here. All right. Start over here first. All right. Just primarily, the whole point of this particular training is how to use the video to grow your agency through the Chamber of Commerce. And there are so cotton picking many ways to become visible and to be the go-to person. And as the new podcast for local chamber influencers, to become the unintentional hero, which is the new name of the podcast for the local chamber influencers group. And I believe, and I'll let you do a quick plug here, Judith, our guest for Saturday is a gentleman from the UK. Is that correct?
Okay. Yes. His name, let me think of his name.
That's good. Thank you. Thank you.
Rupert. Good friend Rupert. Okay. Rupert has a couple of products that are quite stellar. One, the A1 Club, which I've mentioned, is launching on Friday. So if all goes well, we will be one of the first few to hear about it. And that's quite an exciting project. So yeah, looking forward to him on Saturday.
Good. That'll be something that should be quite interesting, as a matter of fact. Not only his journey, which I understand is fairly interesting, but the new things he's coming up with in the areas of products. So I'll look forward to that on Saturday at 10 a.m. But moving forward with our growing with your agents with video, of course, that's all right now, and it has been for years. Video is a way to really market more thoroughly than text of any kind. People like to watch video. They're attuned to it. They sit in front of a box at night. They sit in front of a computer screen. They watch videos on the computer screen. So we're all just attuned to that, and it really does. If you look at the statistics, it really does give you the best return on the dollar of any type of marketing you can do. Now, it's not any different with the Chamber of Commerce. People in the chamber want that same thing. They may not realize it and they may not think about it, but they do. So I'm going to talk about a few ways that videos can be used within the chamber, and then I'm going to show you some things that I have used in the past that it doesn't necessarily mean you have to have thousands and thousands of dollars worth of equipment in order to accomplish the things we're about to talk about. So we get into our, if I get it to come on, there we go. When you attend events, and your whole concept of attending events is to become known as the go-to guy. In this case, we're going to talk about becoming known as a video guy. Now, if you've got a small agency, you may not have even brought in video as part of your marketing. You may not even have video other than using it like on YouTube or creating a video from some sort of program. you may not have thought about the fact that live video taken in the area, is actually an unbelievably strong source for you to become known in the area. When we get down to it, let's say, for example, and some of these things I've covered in the past, but they merit being repeated. For example, when a committee chairperson is in charge of an upcoming event, these people are all influencers, or they wouldn't be committee chair people. So what you want to do is you want to offer to videotape them prior to an event, and then put that up. And it's funny to say now, but when I was doing this, there wasn't a whole lot of Facebook going on, guys. Okay, Facebook is when I first started using this technique. Facebook was just a dream in somebody's eye, which came on pretty fast, but it still wasn't the main use of it. But now we have Facebook to post these on. We have their newsletters to put this on. We have their website to put this on, all of which make you the person to be noticed. You're going into these particular people's offices to do an interview about, let's say, the upcoming July 4th weekend, a big deal. And it takes a huge, not a huge, but a sizable committee to do it. It takes a pretty powerful committee chairman to pull it off. Now, I think, without any doubt in my mind, that committee chairperson, if you come to interview them about that upcoming event, is going to really be appreciative. I did it many, many times, and I ran into all kinds of situations. I remember a banker, it was a gal that I went into, and she had an upcoming event, and she was the chairperson, but she was scared to death to be in front of the camera. And just so that you see, I'm going to show some other equipment, but I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is a little bitty camera, right? It's a Kodak, and it looks like a phone, but it's not. And it's actually just only a camera, and it was one of the early 1080p cameras that came out before cell phones even had that kind of capacity on them. So I would take this little camera right here, and I would go in and I put it on a tripod. I'd set it up and I'd turn it on. And fortunately, this particular camera has a nice memory card in it, so it was easy to transfer across to the computer. Just take the memory card out, pop it in, take the video off, do some little twists to it, maybe as intros and outros, which we're going to see a little bit later. And the main thing is make sure that your name is at the end of it. Put it up there, put your name at the end of it. It's as simple as that. So the committee chair people were a target that I used quite often. Think about a lunch and learn, for example. If you are seeing those happen in your particular chamber, and you know that they're going to be on a variety of topics, why don't you offer to go in and videotape the lunch and learn? Why? Because then it becomes evergreen, especially if they put it on their website. Now, you can imagine a lunch and learn button, for example, on a website, the chamber website, and they have all these recordings of these various things that they have set up, they've spent time with, but in most cases, after the 30 minutes, hour, however long it takes, that information is lost. They may have some materials to take home, but the information isn't there. But if you volunteer to go in, and by the way, sometimes they charge for lunch and learns, but guess what? They're not going to charge you to go to lunch and learn if you're going to videotape it and provide the video to them, are they? So there's another freebie. And what are people going to notice that are in the crowd? They're going to notice you taking a videotape, and if they don't know you, they're going to wonder, well, who is this guy? What's going on here? I remember early on in the process that when I started doing this, that little camera I just showed you is the only thing I had. I didn't have any professional equipment. I just thought, hey, this is a good idea. And of course, my phone wasn't strong enough to do the job like they are now. And so that's all I used to start with. Now that grew because then I became known for videos and taking videos in the area. It became a strong part of my business, actually, and was well worthwhile. Uh, Educational series, not just lunch and learn, but when they sometimes they set up an educational series that go over 6 months, for example, and every month they've got a new topic that they have on the schedule. Now, again, same thing. Go ahead and videotape the event, videotape that information, make it evergreen, put it on their site, or, of course, a lot of people can't go to these. Out of a 450 member chamber, usually at these educational series and even lunch and learns, you're going to have 30 to 50 people, maybe more, in a very active chamber, but that's all. Shouldn't the other members benefit from this? Of course they should, and they can benefit if it's recorded. And again, you're going to record it. You're going to dress it up a little bit with some editing. You're going to put your name at the end. So as they pop to the end, there's your name. There's the company name right in front of them. You're the go-to person when it comes to that. Special events, nothing to that. Got special events happening all the time. And if you just go into a special event, and I don't care if you just do a couple of crowd interviews. Who cares? It still memorializes that particular special event, and it makes people appreciate being interviewed, number one. So you've made a friend because you interviewed them. You've made a friend with the chamber because you've memorialized that special event that's happened at that point in time. And again, notoriety. How much does it cost to actually do a video? It costs your time. That's all it costs. A little bit of time. But again, doesn't have to be with expensive equipment. And we talk about ribbon cuttings all the time. And of course, our technique for using ribbon cutting is to go in and stay to the end and meet the manager and set an appointment. But that doesn't mean you can't also do an interview with the owner at the ribbon cutting about his new place. Now, that's an even stronger way to get an audience with him at the end of the event. You've taken the video, you're going to post it, you're going to put it on Facebook for the Chamber of Commerce. If it's important enough, maybe it's a larger company, it'll probably go on their newsletter. It'll go out in that fashion. And there's always other sources within the community that these particular things can go up. But some of these communities have community boards that they go up on. Some of them have community activities. The city always has, not always, that's not true, but many times the city itself will have events that are featured on that. And let's not forget the fact that a lot of these communities also have a decent newspaper with a decent website. And what if you provide the video for an event to the newspaper to go on their website? Just all these are just ideas to think about. Video is strong. Award ceremonies are very strong. Let's say even down to, and I've had a chance to videotape an entire end of year awards banquet. Now, we didn't videotape everything. We videotaped the people that were getting various awards, the business of the year, the variety of awards that are given away at the end of the year chamber banquet. Extremely important situations. I was fortunate enough to be deep enough in the chamber that actually directed all the sound and the music and the videos that were going on and all the other good stuff. And I actually had that as part of my assignment at the end of the year banquet. That again put me in front. People see me up around the podium doing my thing, and I was always recognized. During that final banquet, which always drew literally the vast majority of the chamber attended the banquet. It was always held at a university, and actually at a big room that was at the top of the end of the football stadium. So you're viewing down on the football field while you're enjoying your dining and your pleasures there. So it was always well attended. You can also come up on areas of public issues. When people start talking about changes within the community, you have a major issue as far as let's just say, make it simple. Let's say it's roads or money to the fire department or something like that. Some of these things are worth videotaping. Sometimes you have to be careful here because you do not want to get too deep in the weeds as far as politics is concerned. But oftentimes, just if the chamber feels that it has an interest in it in some fashion, then having that videotape for that particular meeting or that particular public issue or an interview with someone on both sides of that issue, it becomes quite interesting to the Chamber of Commerce, as well as community improvements. Public issues have to do with road repair or potholes or anything else. I lived in Chicago for a while, and I always laughed that they had two seasons. One was snow removal, and the other was pothole repair. Those were the two seasons in Chicago. So those kind of things are important as well. But how do you do this? You don't have a bunch of big video equipment. You don't have the things that you think are necessary, so it kind of keeps you from wanting to go out and do it. It keeps you from taking action in the process. So let me cut off the share, and I'll show you something else in just a moment. We have. I'll show you something that I started with, if I can find the right screen. Yeah, here it is. This actually is the camera that I finally went to, and it's a Canon XL2. Now this is one of those over-the-shoulder very much in many cases looks like one of the TV station guys would use. It has a zoom that literally I could be at the back of an auditorium and I could pick a gnat off the guy's nose at the podium, and that kind of zoom lens in this particular camera was fantastic. It was an older model. It had a mini digitape instead of being digital itself, which made it more difficult to edit. But I could afford it, affordable price. I just noticed this one I brought up on Amazon. This one's at $595, and it can do everything as far as stopping motion. When you're filming like an athletic event, it takes all the blur out. It is a very, very sophisticated camera, even now, being an older type camera, and extremely efficient for what I had to do. I believe when I first got this camera, because the video thing was growing and I was getting requests of all kinds, I decided, well, I'll go ahead and get some equipment. So I found this, and it had two different lenses and two different battery packs and a bag to carry it in, the whole thing. And got a tripod, a nice sturdy tripod for it. And of the $795 I spent on it, with everything included, I at least made 20 times more than that in using it. For example, I did a videotape even for the police department to do recruiting. They wanted to set up a nice recruiting video disc, and I went around. We filmed for almost a week, going to their special forces, their undercover cops, the whole thing. We filmed it all and put it into a video. But I didn't do that alone. Here's a point that I want to make right now. When you start getting requests for these higher dollar type video projects, I did several for the Parks Department, which literally took 3 or 4 days to shoot the video series. When you get into that kind of sophistication, my camera was fine for single events. When you get into those kind of situations, what you want to do as a local agency is you want to find somebody to team up with. You want to get involved with a videographer in the area that will cooperate with you so that you and he can both make money. The one I teamed up with, I worked with for 5 years, as a matter of fact. And we had an agreement. And he always left me enough room to make plenty of money. In most cases, I was able to double his price easily. and still be competitive as far as video is concerned. But he and I had an agreement, and he had this little car that had a complete wrap on it with all his company name on it and all the things, and and he had his cap and his shirt, where he had his company name on it. And he says, I think his slogan was something like, I shoot people for a living. I think that was his motto, and that was all over his van and all this other stuff. So we had an agreement, and what it was when he drove in, we met at a parking lot someplace. We unloaded his equipment, put it in my car, and we drove over there. He didn't wear any of his logo. He didn't wear any of his T-shirts. He didn't hand out any business cards, and we had an agreement that he didn't contact any of these customers. And so as far as the people there were concerned, when we hauled out some really high dollar equipment with some fantastic wireless mics and all the things that go along with that, as far as they were concerned, we were working together as partners. And that's how I handled keeping it separate from my other business, or keeping it separate as far as losing the business to someone that was actually the professional. I was a great coach, and I always kept the customer happy, but I had a true professional. And when he got done editing some of this work, we actually charged anywhere from $5,000 to $7,000 for it. When he got done editing it, it was absolutely professional, unbelievably professional. But that was my first camera. And with that camera, another strange story in the annals of history is with that very camera set up on a tripod, I have videotaped at least 10 funerals. How about that nonsense, right? Videotaped from the back of the funeral and getting the close-ups of the people arriving and the people that are there. And then would go from there, especially mainly when it was a military funeral, I would go to the burial ground and videotape the holding of the flag, the 21-gun salute, and all of that. And that was all packaged and put together for the people who were involved, of course, the family that was involved. So with that camera, and I think, as I recall, I charged $850 to do a funeral. So, I only paid $750 for the camera, but I did 10 of those funerals with the same price as the camera. So that's a little history there. Now, how do you not get so involved as far as cost is concerned? Well, today we have all kinds of new stuff going on. Our phones have the strongest cameras. They're stronger than a lot of the actual Nikons and the Canons and everything else. These phones have become unbelievable. I walked into a Verizon store about 6 weeks ago, and I just was looking around, and you guys probably know this, but I found a camera that had, or excuse me, a phone that had 5 cameras in it. And I asked the guy, why does it need 5 cameras? He says, well, you got your close-up, you got your full, you got this, and you can do, 360, video if you want to. And I'm going, oh, okay, not quite what I remember as far as, when I was doing most of my videos. But let's take this for example here. In video, you want to make sure that you have good audio, very critical. You can take a small phone and do the video, but you're going to pick up a lot of background noise, which totally ruins a video. So you want to take and pick up something like I'm showing you right here. They're lavalier, wireless lavalier microphones, or lapel, lapel mics that you see being used. And it simply plugs into your phone. You put a pack on the person, a receiver, and you put it up to his shirt or whatever, and you've got direct sound from him to your phone. So you've got great sound. And there are so many of these that are available in so many different prices. Where you look at that, those are expensive there, but they're in all kinds of price ranges as far as how they work. I'm not showing that, but even this one, for example, this one is it's double because it works from it's a transmitter and a receiver. it's 70 bucks. Okay, you get good sound quality, you've got a decent video. And what happens as far as when you're at a distance or whatever? Well, then you get into another situation. You probably have seen these. These are lenses for your cell phone. They strap on to where your camera lens goes out. And you can see this one right here has actually a telescopic lens on it. I've had reports that some people didn't find them very, very good. Depends on, I guess, what you buy. But I have used these in the past very effectively. You can set this on you can see a small tripod on this one, but you can set these on a tripod. I'm going to talk about that in a minute too. Set it on a table, aim at the person, make sure the wireless mic is on, and you've got a video that's going to go great on a YouTube channel, a website, their newsletter, wherever you want to put it. And you will be amazed at what you can do with this. It changes everything you see from a phone video perspective. And these are available. You find all kinds of these various varieties everywhere as far as lenses go. And very, very effective. You can see how many lenses are provided in this particular kit right here. Extremely effective. And then finally, of course, you need to go into and get a decent tripod. This is a camera tripod. Some of them are selfie sticks and tripods combined. But in that process, for example, the one that I'm showing here for $15.99 goes up to 50 inches, which is really good as far as height goes. My professional one went up about 6 feet or more. But, this is for a cell phone type situation. You want the tripod because I don't know about you. And of course, it may be because I'm got some gray hair, in the process. But if I stand there and try to hold a cell phone, especially if it has even any kind of telescopic type lens on it, there's going to be some shaking and motion there. I don't care if you're sitting down, you've got your elbows on the table, there's still going to be some of that action, which you do not want in your video. And so you always want to get a tripod involved. So you're talking about special lenses, which are $50 maybe. You're talking about wireless microphones, which are around $70. And you're talking about a tripod, but this is a decent tripod right here, without a doubt. So you've got, what is that, $100 involved? And you can go in and film any darn thing you want to with the phone that you have in your pocket. So you take this equipment, put it in a small bag, and walk in and set it up. So this is not hard to do to become recognized and become the go-to person and to any event that the Chamber of Commerce might have. And again, the cost, $100, you already have a phone. You've got your time involved. And of course, then you have to edit it, right? Now, what are we going to do about editing? There are all kinds of editing choices, editing programs of all kinds. But you've done a great job. You set up the camera right. You got it on a tripod. You got a steady shot. You got great sound coming from the wireless lavalier mics. Then you've got to finish off the process. So Rick Shearer is going to come in right now and talk a little bit about how the best way is to make a final product out of these amazing things that nobody else does but you for the Chamber of Commerce. Rick, take it away, buddy.
All right, let me get my screen share going here and open up a little presentation PowerPoint I've got going on here. I actually use a video editing software called Camtasia. There are some free ones out there, but I live and die by Camtasia. It's $249, and you can install it on up to 2 computers. There's a free version that's available called DaVinci Resolve 16. That's a beta version. That version is free. The functionality and purpose of the video editing is to be able to create we'll call a logo intro, and of course an outro, which you should give your business and yourself the credit for what you're doing, so that when people see it, they'll know who created it, and they'll come to you, or they may come to you for services if they like what you produced. You also can use PowerPoint to seamlessly edit two videos, one being a intro and the other one being the main video. So PowerPoint can in fact be used. As far as an actual editing tool for images, Canva is a free source to be able to edit, crop, change the shape, edit the background. So that is a free tool. Now what I'm going to do here is, first of all, I use two very important and powerful programs in getting the intros and the outros. One is Videos, and the other one, which I've used successfully, is Dropmock. But before I do that, I'm going to do something pretty interesting here. I'm going to show you how advanced video actually is. And if everybody can go to the chat, let's see if I can grab this up. I'm going to drop a link in the chat. Chat right over here, participants, chat, more chat. And I want everybody here to play this video and tell me what you're seeing on it. All right. I'll wait for a second to for Chris and Judith to open their mics and tell me what they're seeing in this video. Christopher, is that playing?
It's loading right now. Am I on? Is my mic open?
Yes, your mic is open.
Yes, it's still loading.
Okay.
Connect with Facebook, Network Fusion Digital Marketing Group. That's what I have on the screen.
All right, just say yes to connect with Facebook.
Okay.
Loving it.
Okay.
All right, well, what do you see that's pretty unique?
BidCloud will receive, continue as my name, right?
Okay, yep.
All righty. Now this is coming from where, Rick?
This is actually on a cloud-based application called Videos.
Okay. Now,
No, I'm sorry.
Remix.
This is Video Remix, not video. Thank you, Judith. All right, now, what we're looking at here, we should be looking at, and if you do a post of a video on Facebook, every single viewer will see this personalized with their name. And that is so unbelievably powerful as far as the interaction and engagement with the viewer. Chris, are you seeing this branded to yourself with your location?
no, I'm just saying book a free consultation now.
You sort of missed the first part of it, I guess.
Okay, well.
But it should be branded and should say Christopher Knight. It should have your image. Yeah, Judith, working for you?
Yep, I see it. I got it. Yeah.
Pretty powerful. Somebody on the other end is saying, gee, this guy took the time to create this video just with my name in it. Powerful stuff. All right, let's jump back to how I do and how I create, let's say, an intro.
Where do they get this, Rick? You know?
It's actually pulling from your Facebook information.
Okay, yeah, but where do they get this particular program?
Oh, this program is called Video Remix.
Okay, is it expensive?
It's a subscription base. I think probably when I got involved, it was $47 a month. If that's correct, then you can actually join the Temple Club.
Cost about $1,000 now, I think, last I heard.
Really? Okay.
Oh, well.
They may have shut this down or limited it, but they do have some openings and specials that they run.
Yeah, I would check for a special. The thing to note, if I might mention this, Rick, it's not going to work on Instagram and a couple other places, but most of the chambers is on Facebook. It works on Facebook and it works on LinkedIn. So it pulls out the information that you have given Facebook and LinkedIn and your photo it pulls it out and uses it to personalize it. And it is powerful.
Very powerful. All right, so I'm going to jump into one of the programs that I use, and I know Scott uses this as well. And this is actually called Videos. And I'm going to jump into the category of logos because that's what I want to create for somebody here. And I'm just going to grab one of these that's pretty quick. This one here, I'm going to customize it. And literally, this can be customized in a matter of seconds. It might take about 5 minutes to render and come down. It's going to show you a brief example of what it's looking like. So it's
I can only see PowerPoint.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. All right, so basically within Videos, I chose this Aperture logo. It's pretty clean, pretty straight. It'll show the branding of, we'll say, a chamber and their actual address. And to customize it, it's literally a couple clicks here. You basically upload an image. And I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to grab an image from my library here. And let's say we take Draper, one of our newest chambers here.
By the way, congratulations on that, gentlemen.
Thank you. And then we just go to next step here, which is to put in their website. And we say next. And now it's going to render or ask if we want to change any of the colors. I'm just going to leave it stock and standard. It's basically going to create a live preview for us to make sure that we do want to continue with the render. And we've got a couple, tabs to take a look at to see what the final is going to look like. And we can say create.
So this is intro?
This is the intro, correct. And this is going to render. Rather than keep you all here, I'm going to go back to my Camtasia, and I'm going to work with something that was previously created. The first thing I want to do is import the media. I'm going to take it to my video tabs here, and we're going to grab something from in here. We're going to grab these two videos here, and Judith will appreciate this. And we're going to import them.
We're still on video ice.
Gotta get used to that.
Unfortunately, on Zoom, you have to keep refreshing.
Swapping out your screens. Pain in a royal.
Thank you, Peter.
All right, so I just imported these two videos. This is actually the intro that we created, so I'm going to grab it here, and we can actually play it. All right, and then I'm going to actually grab the video that was created for one of Judith's events, and that's the video here. Now, what can I also do is I can actually create a transition here. So this one sort of a cube rotate in, and you can see the effect that this has here. And then again, one of the most important things is actually putting in an outro, which of course you want to have on the end, and you want to be able to put, production by, and we can make this as large as we want.
The Rickster, I like that one.
Rickster, and we can actually take this video here and do a transition fade to black. Now we just drag this to here. And we can also do something a little sweet here. One of the features, we can make this sort of zoom. So I can say, I want this to zoom at this point here. Right into, so it's really big and close up here. Maybe I don't want it that big.
It's looking good, Rick.
So that at a certain point here, it's going to zoom. And again, this is not a great, example of a zoom, but you can actually have this zoom in very, very close, and we can actually extend it. But when this is complete, you've got your intro. You've got your main video. And you've got your credits.
All right, Ed, this is a program that has what kind of cost attached to it?
Oh, I'm sorry, say that again.
What kind of cost is attached to this program?
This program here, and I go over the cost right here. This program here, Camtasia, is $249.
Okay.
And again, you can install it for 2 users. This used to be $499. They've come down considerably in price, but I've actually played with the DaVinci Resolve 14 version, and some of the things you can do with that. Now, you also could use PowerPoint, and I'm going to demonstrate here that same exact video that I created. We can actually bring it into, I'll get rid of this here, bring it into PowerPoint by inserting and then actually click on video right over here, and we can import.
You're still on the same screen. You just change over to PowerPoint.
You need an assistant to refresh your Zoom screen.
Brain. All right, so we can actually go to insert in any PowerPoint and then click on insert video, and that will open up the option to import a video or pick one up that's online. So we can actually do one of the two. And then you make sure that in the transition that you make sure you open the video, and on the bottom here you want to right click and say you want this to open start automatically. Otherwise it's going to wait for a click. And when you actually proceed this into a full show, you'll actually be able to see the same transition. And it will go right into the other one. I have, again, a little bit of a transition with curtains opening, and the second video will play automatically. So you don't absolutely need, a high-end editing tool. You can do this right inside PowerPoint.
Yeah, I've never seen that with PowerPoint. What version are you using?
I'm using actually the Microsoft 360. This is the one that they charge $9 a month for up to 5 computers. But just about any version will allow you to do that. Again, knowing the technology and where to click, and you want to click on Insert and go right to videos.
Because I've got the 2010. I've never seen anything like this involved in that.
2010 may not have it.
I got tons of templates if you want some, Chris.
Oh,
Hey,
thank
Bob.
you. Thank you.
All right.
Bob, I didn't know you were here. Thanks.
And again, I'm listing another useful tool here. Sometimes there's a video on Facebook, and it might be from an older, dated video from a chamber that you might want to, give a facelift, put an intro on it. Your outro can say edited by, and not being the creator. There's a great program called Clip Grab, and you basically just put the URL, the share link of YouTube video, and you can download it immediately. And that's pretty much my story, Chris.
Yeah, Clip Grab is a new one as well. You want to show that? What does it do? It just simply downloads a YouTube video?
Yep, let me give you a demo on that one here. Close some of these screens, and then I'll reshare. Okay, and let's do a share.
I have a friend who does amazing videos and creates logos and all kinds of things. She does it all in PowerPoint. She has access to lots of other programs, but she prefers PowerPoint, and she does amazing work with it.
That's amazing.
You know, guys, I don't think that Zoom allows you to share an application that's open. It's not giving me an option to share this screen here.
All right. Can you copy and paste your programs into the chat?
Absolutely, do that right now.
And along with that, I know that there's always a learning curve to all these programs. I don't know, again, I don't know the PowerPoint situation, but that's simply that's news to this old head right here. So it's wonderful, as a matter of fact. And yes, think about for the the templates. I'm sure will make a huge difference as far as being able to accomplish that and really make it look professional. With several on here who have video knowledge, share with us some of the other programs that you would suggest for the average person. I have one that I use called OpenShot, which is really, really good for the amateur to put in intros and outros and that type of thing. And it's a free program. So
now, what program do you use to create the intros and the outros? That seems to be
well, oftentimes I'll use PowerPoint or I'll use another video from some other direction. If I get really desperate, I'll go to Fiverr. I'll have them produce an intro and an outro to put it on there. But with Bob or Judith, you want to suggest some other programs you think would be effective and affordable for someone who wants to just do videos to get into the chamber and not only a foot in the door, but become noticed and become the go-to person?
I just bought an excellent one, and it comes like basically a package, and it's got your template for your intro, your outro, what's in between. It's got banners. It's like a full package for each niche. And at the moment, of course, the name of it escapes me, and Musa has just cut off my email, so I can't even find it there. I'll have to let you know. I'll let you know as soon as I can get back in.
Another one that
your email. Go ahead. Never mind.
Another one that I use pretty frequently is something called Dropmock, and I know a lot of people in the group have that, and it's a very powerful program. And I think one of the most interesting things that you can actually do with it. I'm going to show you a quick demo here, if I can, for a second. Of what I've done with it for, let's see here, I think it's this. Let me open that screen up. Sorry, guys. Yep, that's it. It's called Facebook Headers.
Oh, that's original.
And this Dropmock allows you to do that, and it's very sweet. And I actually gifted it to one of my chambers. Actually, it was the Goshen, and they fell in love with it because it wrapped everything that they were doing into it.
I also use
Clean, simple, and again, these video headers just from a sales point, I mean, you could sell them for $150. It takes you 10 minutes to make.
And that's from Dropmock.
That's with Dropmock. Yep, that's under Canvas with your Facebook headers.
Cost of program?
Dropbox, again, I think it's something like $49 for the whole suite per month. And just tons and tons and tons of different videos and stuff. And each video will tell you what its needs are. For example, this here has 7 texts and 5 background images. You can find several complex that have 4 videos or 5 videos. Yeah, this one here, it's 14 lines of text, 5 stills, and 3 videos. And they actually let you do a preview of it before you create it.
I'm pretty sure that Dropbox has a special on right now.
Okay.
I think it's like $279 a year or $249 a year, something like that.
Yeah, they just had a relaunch about a week and a half ago. See if I can grab that link as well and put it in the chat.
Right. Don't you have a podcast coming up Friday on that, Judith?
The podcast that I have coming up is about real estate videos and the do's and don'ts.
Okay. Right.
So quick note, Dropbox is a template-driven video. If you're looking for editing videos like Camtasia, but an alternative option, I just put a link in the chat for something called InVideo, and it's available on AppSumo for a lifetime price of $50 right now. It's normally like $40 a month. I've played around with it. It's not as powerful as Camtasia, but for anyone that wants to take raw video and edit it, you need an editing program. Dropbox is a little harder to edit raw video into something else. You can add raw video to templates, but you can't actually edit the video.
And there's a lot you can't do with it too. It's very good for specific purposes, but it's not like you can choose where your text is going to be. You can't move it around. You can't change text color. Like there's a few limitations to it, as there are probably to most programs.
So Peter, yours is called, the one you suggest is called what?
InVideo.
Okay.
And it's on a website called AppSumo. It's available at a discount. Yeah. AppSumo's, for those of you not familiar with it, they're just an aggregator of new and upcoming software that they offer really, really good deals. I don't know about you guys, but I buy from there all the time in hopes I get to use it.
You're letting it collect dust, Peter. Stop that.
It's called the bright and shiny syndrome.
You know what? I just started using a program I bought about a year and a half ago. And thank God I did, because the normal price for the software is about $200 a month, and I don't have to pay the $200 a month. So
there you go.
It's fantastic.
Bob, do you have some suggestions? I know you do a lot of this work, so what do you got up your sleeve?
You guys covered a bunch of good ones there. So I'm a longtime Camtasia user. I also use InVideo. I got that AppSumo deal some months back. That's pretty good, template driven. If you want a free open source, you could look at something called Shotcut. It's all one word. And that is, it's kind of Camtasia on steroids. It's got a steeper learning curve than Camtasia, but it'll do probably all of the same things. And like I say, it's open source.
Hey, what was the name of that again, Bob?
It's called Shotcut, all one word.
Okay, Shotcut, S-H-O-T?
S-H-O-T-C-U-T.
Shotcut.
Yeah, it uses the same sort of timeline thing as Camtasia, so you're going to see some familiarity, and it's pretty deep. I'm not a strong Shotcut user. I just get into Camtasia, do what I need in a couple of minutes, and off I go.
Mm-hmm. And
I agree with.
As robust or more?
I'm sorry?
It's as robust or more robust?
I would say it's more. It's got deeper features that you can dive into. Although I've never gone real deep on Camtasia. There's a bunch of things in there I don't use. And I agree with your thoughts and your original presentation on the personalization. That's a big deal. So looks like Judith, they're using something called Text Direct or Text Video. Is that where that chat video came from?
A chat video.
Yeah, the one.
Oh, that's text video. Yeah, that's a Dropbox subdivision kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a good little creative tool. There's a bunch of them out there. You have to be careful. You'll get stuck in shiny object hell.
Actually, Dropbox and Video Remix collaborated on text video so that it could be.
That's right, they did. Yeah, because I have text video. I've only used it a few times, but it's something you could overuse, I think, if you do them all the time. But it's nice to have the variety, most definitely.
All right, very good. Now, it all boils down to one thing. You can have all this knowledge about all these video editing programs and intros and outros, but how you use them to your benefit is one of the most important things to this discussion. Will you go out? This is ideal for someone who's, let's say they don't really, they're shy. They kind of feel uncomfortable in a crowd. Well, if you go in there with the purpose of shooting a video of a lunch and learn, I mean, how shy can you be? You're setting up, you're doing your work. People are going to come over and talk to you. They're going to say hi. And, what do you do? They're going to ask you. You're not going to have to tell them. They're going to ask you, well, what do you do actually? And so doing videos for chambers and their events and their ribbon cuttings and their educational series and the committee chairman and all that stuff that we covered early in this is really what this is such a simple thing to do as a chamber person. And having the talent, you don't have to learn but one of these programs to make yourself look fantastic. And there are a ton of programs, as you've heard here. And any one of them, if you take the time to learn it and to use it to make yourself look good and to brand yourself, then you've been successful. And you can be successful 3 times a month, 5 times a month sometimes, and continue to feed value to your Chamber of Commerce. And that value is going to feed right back to you very, very quickly in so many different ways. Guys, do you have anything else to offer here today? I think this has been a valuable training for those who want to become noticed within their chamber, become the go-to guy or the unintentional hero. Go ahead, Truth. Yes, please.
I'm going to play devil's advocate. It's what I do.
Yes, of course.
What would be the etiquette?
Where's the mute button? Anyway, can I get that? No, never mind.
What would be the etiquette of, of course you would go to chamber and see, are there half a dozen other people already making videos?
No. Very seldom.
There's a good, when was the last time you were at a meeting, Chris?
When the last time I was at a meeting?
Yeah.
Oh, 2 years ago.
I think I'm just thinking with all the iPhones and so many people in digital marketing that are members of these chambers that so I'm just wondering, you see someone else pulling out their camera and taking videos, do you just assume that you should just give them the floor? Or?
Well, they're pulling out their cameras and making videos, but are they using a wireless mic so you have good sound? Have they set up in the proper place and they're using a tripod? So
well, if you're going in to set up shop, I guess that's something different.
Well, yeah, I mean, sure, they can take their videos and they can take it from the side, like some of the ones that we've seen, at political fundraisers where somebody's got his phone, he's captured that politician talking about something he shouldn't have been talking about. Well, that's not the kind of video we're talking about.
Besides, I'm sure they're not dressing it up like you
on
your tools, and they may not even be offering it back to the chamber, to you.
Yeah. They may be just doing it
for discussion.
They may be doing it for their own reuse themselves. These are things people do not think about. I'm serious. They've all got the same equipment. They need to add another $100 of equipment to it that we talked about earlier. But all right, so you got an extra $100 of equipment that makes you and your video professional, but you're still carrying your camera in your pocket, for goodness sake. You know, or you can spend, you know, $1,000 on a nice video camera and set it up on a big tripod in the back. So that's a whole different another program there. I don't know. Bob's been to some of the most recent chamber meetings. Bob, how many people videotape a lunch and learn or anything like that?
Oh, they don't. I see people taking stills, but nobody's doing video, at least in my area. I'm going to go to actually I don't know what they call it, mega mixer.
Yeah.
So there's going to be, I don't know, about maybe 10 chambers at this mixer tomorrow. So I'll be interested. I'll take some notes there, see how they kind of approach it.
Well, you'd be amazed, you know, if you got 10 different chambers, but if you were to do an interview with, several of them, a personal interview, and put it on film, you know, that would probably be shown at every one of those chambers.
Oh, I bet you it would, yeah, because there's going to be, you know, you've got 10 potential outreach targets after you go in there. I'm going in there for other reasons, but you're putting thoughts in my head here, Chris. You're stacking my plate pretty high.
All right. I'm used to it, and you're used to it, so here we go, right?
Sounds like you got a busy day tomorrow, lots of exposure.
But, you know, it isn't necessary. It seems so logical, right? I mean, it's like Judith says, isn't everybody else doing that? No, they're really not, because they haven't thought about how it can benefit them personally in their business. You know, all right, you go take a nice little video. Well, yeah. Well, think about how you're doing it. Think about how you're structuring it, and think about how it's going to look afterwards after you dress it up with an editing system. And you tell the chamber in advance, here's what I want to do, and I'd like to, you know, put it up on the Facebook page, like put it in a newsletter. You know, if it's really good, I'd like to put it on the website. And boom, your name is there every cotton pick and time. Your name is at the end of that video. Wow, you know, I found it so strong. The ones I did for the newsletter, because they were only like, you know, 2 minute, 3 minute, you know, 2.5 minute videos. But at the end, boom, there was my logo, my company. And it was seen by hundreds of people every month. So it was fun. It was definitely fun. All right, guys. Any suggestions? Any ideas that somebody wants to share? I'm going to leave it open to you just for a few minutes, and we'll close down here. What do you think, guys? All right.
I, for one, would like to wish Bob happy birthday, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Hey,
Woo!
birthday.
21 again, huh?
Just
21 and holding.
as I said, Bob, just don't pull the cork out of the bottle. That's all.
No, I know. I'm still running around looking for somebody to pull my cork, but no takers yet.
Okay. All right, good.
Christopher, you keep stabbing me in the arm with that damn sword.
Oh, yeah.
Bring that up here. I think that looks.
Over the
I'm so
right
proud of
shoulder,
that.
they have made fun of me. Over his right shoulder is a knight's uniform with the sketch head that Rick did of me and my beard.
You're right. That's a culmination of Judith the Richter. Judith and Rick. She did
Can
a
you
great
bring
job.
that up here so we can see? I was so happy with that thing.
I think it's on a film. You can't just pick it up. It's not
Oh,
not made into a bobblehead doll yet. Okay.
No, I know that. That wasn't really what I meant. Hang on. Let me get a copy of it and bring it. I think this is the one that you cleaned
Oh
up.
my
Right?
God, we're not going to do this. We should do.
Yeah, we are.
We should be doing Bob since it's his birthday.
Well, you know, I didn't have anything to do with something for Bob. At any rate, I really liked it. And the only reason that we're not sticking with it is because I had to find something that had a much more clear picture. So this is what I started with.
Bear
I
in
wonder
mind,
if
I have nothing to do with this, guys. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So can I, let me see, can I share? Who's on, nobody's on share. So let me see if I can share. This is what I started with, Pixabay. since we're talking about renovating things and whatever. And then what I did was I took this picture that Rick made. You still see that?
We still see your Pixabay.
That's what I thought. So I will reshare. Stop share. Reshare. I hate that part. So here, then it came, this is the picture that Rick did, which I had seen.
So charming, yes.
What a charmer. And so then what we ended up with, what I did to it, is this. Can you see that though?
Not
We
yet.
have to reshare that. Here we go. The original knight in shining armor, Mr. Knight himself. And I just really liked that whole thing. That's up there now, right?
I'm missing my white horse as well.
I know, but you know, couldn't get it all on the graphic. But the only thing with it was that the facial features and everything wasn't clear enough to be used the way.
We got the pit crew in our chamber leader mastermind, and this is the pit crew.
Ah.
You can see the wise one there for sure.
Oh yeah,
So is that supposed to be Scott?
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Just creativity. All right, guys. Thanks for having fun. It always is fun when we get together for sure.
Well,
And
then,
I hope informative along the way
I'm
too.
sorry, Chris, since we've got the panel on here, and this doesn't have to be taped, you can stop the record button. I just want to see, this is what I came up with unintentional heroes.
Okay,
And I
stand by a moment.
Yeah.
Before we get into unintentional heroes, and those of you who'd like to stick around and listen to some of the inside stories of some of the group, you're welcome to. Other than that, thanks for attending. It's been wonderful, and I hope you have gained a lot about doing videos for your Chamber of Commerce. See you next. And by the way, stop by on Saturday, 10 o'clock for a special podcast. Goodbye, y'all.